Greetings, all you miraculous people out there. I'm the eternal sleepy boy, Duuz-Diz-Din, coming at you with another Miraculous Ladybug episode review. This time we're actually seeing a little bit of Master Fu's backstory, where he and his lost love, Marianne, the irony of that name, were fleeing during what looked to be World War II times? World War One? I'm thinking World War II. Regardless, he is obviously fleeing from enemy combatants, trying his best to keep the miracle box out of their hands. Ultimately, it's decided that he and Marianne will split up. Marianne originally wanted to use the box and the miraculous inside in order to defend Paris, but Master Fu was very cautious, not wanting it to possibly fall into the enemy's hands, so they split off after being found out, promising to meet back together one day. In present times, Marinette has called together all the girls, her best girl pals, in order to get an opinion on what to do, as Adrian is going off with Kagami and their parents in order to meet up with some royalty in England. Marinette is worried that some romantic situations will happen between Adrian and Kagami while they're over there. But Alya ultimately just says, look, if you're that worried about it, just spit it out. Tell them how you feel and be done with it. Which everyone just mutually agrees to pretty much. But Marinette, at a loss, because constantly, time and time again, whenever she tries to tell Adrian how she feels, she stumbles over her words. We've gone through 2 seasons of this, so we understand. But Marinette is taken off guard by Waz outside of her window, so she kicks all of her girlfriends out, and Waz tells Marinette that something is wrong with Master Fu. On her way over, Marinette decides that a letter would be her best bet in order to tell Adrian how she feels, because she can't really stumble over written words. So she starts just writing up a storm, but unfortunately she's speaking out loud on the train. So, as she's writing out her utmost heartfelt feelings, she's taken off guard by all the people mocking her on the train. And so she ends up just hiding and stashing away the note. When she arrives at Master Fu's place, a doctor is already there, and she's ultimately told that it's simply gas. But Master Fu's not so sure, being, I believe he said 180, so you never know when he's truly going to. So he tells Marinette that she will be the next guardian of the miraculous should something ever happen to him. But Marinette says he'll probably be okay and takes the prescription notice for what, Master Fu needs and stashes it away as well, going to get his medication. But Master Fu also gives Marinette a note for Marianne, something he wanted to tell her before it was too late. Get those feelings out, because they had a very close, intimate relationship when they were younger. And Marinette feels this connection. It's just like, yes, of course. You don't want to hold on to your feelings until it's too late. Seize the moment. Carpe diem. Seize the day. You never know what will happen tomorrow, so do what you need to do today. However, Marinette realizes that, she has to meet with Marianne, Marianne, I think, get to Adrian's train before he leaves, and get Master Fu's medicine. So you already know where this is going from the onset. She's going to mix up all these notes. In order to, bridge that gap a little bit faster, she transforms into Ladybug, hands over the note to Adrian, and we hit this nice little bit of foreboding between Gabriel and Kagami. I think it's Kagami's mother. And Adrian reads the letter, much to his shock, apparently. Meanwhile, Marianne, settles in at the bench she was supposed to meet Master Fu at, and Ladybug arrives, very taken off guard by how much the older woman knows about her specifically. However, when Ladybug arrives at the drugstore, as it turns out, she has handed over the letter Master Fu was going to hand her. Meaning that Marianne has gotten one of two things, the prescription or her love letter. Which, I love Marionette's face during this moment. However, after reading the letter, Marianne's very taken aback by it, feeling that it was a declaration that their love is no longer there, misinterpreting Marionette's letter. This leaves her prone to Hawkmoth, which Gabriel Gress is currently on a friggin' train, so he has to pretty much get up, go over to one of the train staff and get them to stall the train to keep it from going, so that he can go and into the bathroom and akumatize Marianne. So she transforms her and uses her, feelings of despair and lost love and lost time and all that stuff to turn her into an Akuma. And with this, she has the ability to steal people's time, causing them to go all in reverse. Completely reversing them from the onset and all that good stuff. And she just starts wreaking havoc all across Paris. However, because of this, it ends up catching the attention of Adrian, who's currently on the train. And because of this, we have this really funny moment where Adrian goes to the bathroom only for Hawkmoth and him not realizing that it's his father. He goes into the bathroom and he's just like, Hawkmoth's like occupied, which catches Adrian off guard, so he occupies the other bathroom instead. As he turns into, what you would call it, Cat Noir, he goes racing off to meet up with Ladybug, who, has managed to arrive on the scene to see the recently akumatized Marianne, basically wreaking havoc. And she notices this through the brooch that she has. Marionette has to constantly pretty much save a variety of people from Backwarders, spells, which puts them into harm's way as things go along. She ends up encountering Cat Noir. They go back and forth a little bit about the situation, and they end up, confronting Backwarder. However, with this, it's made clear that Hawkmoth's intention is to have Backwarder, hit Ladybug. She'll revert at some point as she goes backwards, and then they'll take her Miraculous. But Backwarder has other plans, saying that if they allow her to go back far enough, she will lead her to the Guardian of the Miraculous, which is very ingenious. So Hawkmoth's like, yes, do that. I'm all over that shiz. And so with that, Marionette's outright like, look, Cat Noir, you gotta protect me. You can't let them get back to the Guardian of the Miraculous. So Cat Noir, being ever the knight in shining armor, does just that. And as they battle it out, it's too much of a risk to get too close to Backwarder. So Marionette brings out her lucky charm, which is a pipe of all things. And this leads to what is probably the most elaborate use of a lucky charm in this series, bar none. It is wackadoodle. So she has Cat Noir take the string of a kite tied around the pipe, which is put on this X in the ground, has him back up far enough to the kite wire goes taut, raise his arm in the air, and say Cataclysm backwards. And so they end up going towards Backwarder, showing themselves, confronting her. And she apologizes to Cat Noir and promptly pushes him into Backwarder's path. And it's a good thing they're so cool, because I would be pissed that she used me like that without my knowledge. And as Cat Noir's reverse marionette times things down to when the Cataclysm will activate, basically, and she does her best to avoid Backwarder while Cat Noir is put into reverse back to the spot where he needed to be. Ladybug lands at the X, feigns having an injured ankle as Backwarder goes in for the attack. Ladybug jumps in the air. Backwarder trips on the pipe, tripping right into Cat Noir's Cataclysm, destroying the Akumatai's brooch, setting everything back to normal. Jesus, like, what the heck? That is too much. That's too elaborate. That is, like, no. I don't know how you managed to figure all of that out, but no, I would never have guessed any of that. Then again, I never managed to guess the Lucky Charms until they've actually been executed. But Cat Noir goes back to his train, and Ladybug hands over the correct note to Marion. But Hawkmoth is not deterred, having gotten a little bit more information as to what he needs to do in order to track down the Guardian of the Miraculous. And Adrian and Gabriel come out of the bathroom at the same time. Meanwhile, Master Fu is reunited with Marion. However, they both decide that it's best that they not stay together, despite wanting, finally getting to see each other after all these years, because now Hawkmoth